Talk to People podcast, where we believe that as a community, if we talk to people that we run into, it makes a lot of things better in our own lives and in other people's lives. We learn a lot. Guys, why don't we talk to people more?
People are scary.
What?
I just don't like talking to people, you know? Like, I'd rather just stay in my own lane, you know? But then I lose out on a lot of information. So then I have to, like, venture out and actually...
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, too, because you said because people are scary, which is a fear-driven thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. We touch on that.
Well, I seem to make fun of people more often, and you just said nobody's going to like me if I keep talking like this at the end of the podcast.
Repeating it.
No, I said, Jay, I said, go light on me. Come on. People aren't going to like you if you bash me.
Well, I mean, the first thing you're going to do is pull out your book and talk about quotes that aren't real, so...
That book is coming, but you don't, it's awkward to talk to people. It's awkward. One of my favorite things is when one of my favorite people would like walk off to the land of make-believe. You guys up for a little bit of land of make-believe today?
Let's go.
Let's go learn.
Let's go flying.
Let's go learn how to talk to people.
Magic school bus. There we go.
Have you ordered?
Yes, I have. I've ordered some turkey.
Hey, Grady. I don't care, man. Whatever you want to get me. Thanks. I see a Shawnee Strong shirt.
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the high school?
Well, actually, I do. I'm a teacher there. This will be my first year there, and my husband was just hired as the head football coach.
You're Jason's? It's Jason?
Yeah, Jason Madonna. I'm Trish.
What are you going to be teaching over there, Trish?
I'm going to be teaching government, but I'm also going to be the teacher of the internship program that they have there.
I love that. So first of all, at Shawnee, I do Shawnee CTV. That's why there's a camera here.
Okay.
And that's why there's a mic on you.
Oh, awesome.
And we love interns. So if there's any that you see a good fit, we want to do that.
Okay.
But second, I went to the college here.
Yeah.
And I graduated with a history degree.
Really?
I did.
You just love history?
You know, actually, I thought history was about the only thing I could pass and, get all the way through.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. I love all the histories. So government has been really fun to teach. I just started teaching it 2 years ago, and I feel like I'm learning with the kids. It's constantly evolving, so.
Well, I've heard some things about Coach Madonna's wife, like you were Teacher of the Year where you came from.
Yes. I taught at a middle school, and I was Teacher of the Year there at Jarman, and then at Dell City High School, I also was blessed with being the Teacher of the Year there as well.
Well, you know Shawnee attracts the best.
Oh, I hear that.
And you came to the right place. Grady will take care of you. What did you order?
I ordered some turkey. We love making sandwiches. It's just really easy, especially with this hot weather. And I heard this was the best place in town.
Did you know that our ex-government teacher went on to be our senator?
Really?
He did. Ron Sharp.
I did not know that.
And the cool thing about Ron as well is he was like a 6-time state champion tennis coach.
Oh, wow. We love tennis. Jason and I used to coach tennis.
Did you really?
Yes.
It's such a small world.
It is, really.
Isn't it so cool?
Is.
If we just
love it.
talk to each other, we get to learn some new things.
That's right. Don't be afraid.
And so now you're going to be part of the podcast.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
It's the awkwardness. You said don't be afraid, and I agree. It's awkward to talk to people, but in the end, it seems like it all works out.
It does. It really does.
I think you're ready.
Okay.
Grady, man, what'd you get me?
Ham.
Love it.
No wrong with ham.
Thank
Nothing.
you so much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Nice to meet you.
It was great to meet you. We'll see you again.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
He's back.
Yeah, so just show up and let Grady get whatever he gets you. We got some great ham, though. He had a good choice.
I got a sandwich when we were done. That was a good sandwich.
Nowhere like Hardesty's. It is kind of like the land of make-believe. And what'd you guys learn from that experience right there?
Well, I learned that, she's Coach Madonna's wife.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that before I walked in there that day, so that was cool.
What about, though, just about talking to people, getting over the awkwardness of talking to people. Did that help at all?
The conversation was pretty awkward, not going to lie, but you learned something, so that's good.
That's true.
Yeah.
Most people don't walk up to other people and say, "Hey, I know you get a Shawnee shirt on." I don't anyways. As an introvert, I don't do that.
And that's the awkwardness that we're talking about, is just pick something that might be common. Like you might ask them, what did you order? Like, what kind of coffee did you get? Or, oh, wow, I eat Kellogg's Frosted Flakes too. Or what kind of, read their shirt and make a comment about their shirt. But that's how you break the ice and talk to people. And I look forward to being able to go out into the community and do some more of that. Thank you, Trish, for being a sport with us. What was that Queen's name on Mr. Rogers in the Land of Make-Believe? Does anybody know? What's her name? Lady...
I've seen Mr. Rogers.
Lady... You know what? It's Lady Haberland or something like that. But we just saw Lady Madonna. We went and visited Lady Madonna in Mystery Land, or the land, you guys.
I don't know where we're going with this.
No idea.
I'm at a loss for
Okay, well, this is where we're going. Another from the book, The Edge. And of course, I'm going to the Oscar Wilde lineage for my guys in the studio. Red Auerbach. Now, I don't know if he's Irish, but he coached the Celtics, one of the best NBA coaches ever. And I'm not going to be talking NBA for very long, but his Irish background said, I can't stand a ball player who plays in fear. Any fellow who has a good shot has got to take it and keep taking it. So he misses. So what? I love that, especially as I bring up three-time state champion coach, Todd Boyer. Todd, dude, first of all, unreal. A three-peat in high school sports. That does not happen very often.
No, it does not. We're very fortunate to have a great group of young men, and not just great players, but, great kids as well. They, in all aspects of their lives, baseball, in the classroom, family, just a great group of kids to work with.
I agree, and they had a great leader, and I picked that quote, Todd, because anytime I talked with you on that sideline or third base line or in the locker room before a game or after a game, you just were fearless. It was like what was going to happen was going to happen. You knew your team was prepared, and we're going to go out and try to kick butt. Was that quote something that hit you dear to the heart? Play without fear and just keep swinging.
Well, certainly, we tried to put our athletes in a situation in practice so that when they got in that same situation in the game, it was easy. We've already done this. We've already challenged ourselves mentally, physically, because baseball is a game of failure and adversity and overcoming adversity. And, adversity doesn't just show your character. It brings out your character. And I think that did that with this ball club.
You did, and you go down in the annals of history of one of the greatest coaches, any sport, at Shawnee High School. I know of no other three-peat, and we're going to bring in two of your stellar players right now. We're going to have Tanner Sparks and Kade Self join us. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Terrific. I'm terrific.
I like terrific. I like good. Hey, when you hear that you were part of the greatest team ever to play at your alma mater, how does that make you feel? And I'm going to start with Tanner Sparks.
Makes you feel good. I mean, being able to represent the city of Shawnee in a positive way is really important, I think. And the fact that you did something like that and set an example for future generations, show that it's possible, I think something really special.
I agree. How about you, Kade?
It kind of felt like a dream, like almost like a fantasy, really. I mean, it's kind of unheard of who does this stuff, and I was just really proud to be a part of it. And if you're a baseball lover, there's nothing more than you'd want than that to, in your career and on your milestones. And it was a great time.
I agree, and I want to echo that. What a great time it was for us to be able to watch you guys do that. And I spent a lot of time with your parents at the games in which I attended, mostly the dads, and I loved the attitude. Todd, you really had family support through that time, and I really want to emphasize, it just seemed like everybody around that time was just fearless.
Well, absolutely, and we had great support from all of our families, from the guys that started every day to the guys that came off to the bench. We always had that support and that family atmosphere that we preached, and we preached the culture of having a family, and I think we got that across.
I would agree. I think it emanated onto the field as well, because the young men, you could tell, felt supported. And Kade, I have a question for you, because you grew up in Shawnee, a great Shawnee family, and you started your career thinking you had to go somewhere else to win championships, but then you quickly realized you could be part of something special. And I know you were a young man, just a freshman, coming out of 8th grade and a freshman, but in that first semester in which you were not really yet on the campus of Shawnee High School, number one, what made you decide, no, I want to go be a part of the Shawnee High School baseball team?
Well, I saw I could tell there was something special was going to happen here. And it was really obvious the way everyone was acting, talking to the guys before I came over. I knew them all real well. I grew up with them. And I just felt like that I was going to get the most opportunity to be the best ball player I could be, being surrounded by other guys like that and guys that want to win. I wanted to be around that way. And I knew it would be harder, to compete with them, but I wanted to push myself. And it's probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
Oh, I would agree. And Tanner, I know you were one of those guys already on campus. You knew the talent that Kade had. I'm sure you had influence there, but I want to talk about your freshman year. You came in and immediately you were a starter as a freshman, but not only a starter, you could tell that Tanner Sparks was going to be a leader on that squad as a freshman. What was it about yourself, Tanner, when you're coming in that young that you already knew you were going to be successful?
Just the will to win. Anything I do, I want to win. And I'll win by any means necessary. So if that means doing whatever I have to do, I wouldn't necessarily say I was a leader of that team. I mean, we had some really great senior guys and juniors before me, Josh Roulette, Colin Robertson, all those guys set a great example. But just kind of the will to win from everybody really is what drove me to kind of get better and make sure I could play at the same level as those guys.
Agreed. And Todd, isn't that a significant evidence of a leader to be able to downplay his leadership role? As these two came in as young men, tell me some things that stood out about them that you knew something special was about to happen.
Well, obviously, they're both great young men. And, coming in at 14, 15, 16 years old into our program, I'm sure there was some uncertainty about what was needed to be done. But these guys, not just these two guys, but it was the whole group. They all held each other accountable. One guy might step out of line, and I very rarely ever had to say anything. They were held accountable by their peers. Hey, get back in line. Let's get back to work. That's enough of that nonsense or whatever may have been going on. And so they made my job easy because these guys came in, took those leadership roles, and they were all different. Some were more vocal than others. Some led by example. Others were those guys that were the first ones to show up and the last ones to leave. So it made my job easy.
Hey, Tanner, Coach Boyer at that time had been, coaching for well over a decade, I think close to 2 decades already with the Shawnee baseball squad. You're growing up, you go through 8th grade, you've got a good core of kids, and you guys can choose between a lot of different places that you can go to school. What made you choose Coach Boyer and Shawnee High School?
Well, the history of the program, I think of the 10 years before I even got into high school, I think they made the state tournament every year. And made pretty deep runs into the state tournament. We knew Josh Roulette was there, just great competition too, but also some really great players already there. And I mean, obviously Coach Boyer, is a great man, great leader, is really a no-brainer, honestly.
Hey, I can believe that. I love how you set that up. Hey, Kade, what about you? What do you remember most about Coach Boyer and his influence for you?
I think that when he spoke, it was always with a purpose. I think that he always taught me things. It wasn't just nonsense and yelling. It was always with a purpose. He always told me, help me out. He was just always there to help me out, and he wasn't just yelling. He was teaching. Great teacher.
Well, let's talk about somebody that you guys have all mentioned already as well. In the major leagues now, or in the system, at least, of the major leagues now, Josh Roulette. Josh was a standout player. At the time in which you arrived, Tanner, he was a junior. And Kade, when you arrived, it was his senior year. Talk about, if you would, Kade, coming in as a freshman, and you have a senior like Josh Roulette. What kind of standard was set for you? How high was the bar as a freshman?
It was pretty high. He was a great leader to have on the team, and he was pretty no-nonsense. He wouldn't let people mess around. He was there to work, and it showed. And if you were with him, you weren't going to mess with his work. You were going to work with him. And having him around was really good, and it gave me like someone to look up to a little bit, someone like that's where I want to be when I'm a senior. So it was really beneficial to have him on the squad and me get to see him that last year. I think it helped me a lot.
And so, Tanner, you come in as a freshman. You guys have success, but you don't reach the ultimate goal. Roulette knows, hey, this is my senior year. Now you're coming in as a sophomore. How did your role and your mentality change when Josh became the senior leader on the squad?
I mean, I think not reaching the ultimate goal the first year just added some flames to the fire, or however you say that. I mean, it makes you want to win it that much more. We were close, but makes you want to reach that end goal. And we knew we had the pieces to do it. We knew we were more than able. So, I mean, and being able to do that, those guys' senior years, like Roulette's senior year, Austin Cooper's senior year was awesome, because those dudes had been such a big part of the program for so long.
And Todd, the program had come close. You guys had teams that really could win it, and you never could get over that hump. Talk a little bit about the family atmosphere and the influence that the parents had, the positive influence that the parents who surrounded these kids had in bringing the ultimate goal and winning that first state championship to Shawnee High School baseball.
Well, I was very fortunate when I first came to Shawnee all the way back in 1991 that I was able to work for a person, Jeff Schaefer, who was very knowledgeable about the game. And I thought I knew a lot about the game when I first got here, and I knew very little. And I learned a lot from him and how to run a program and challenge our players. And so I was very thankful for the opportunity to work for him as an assistant coach when I was here. And then when Jeff left for Seminole State to take the head job there, I was fortunate enough to get this job. And, the one thing that I wanted to do was to build relationships with my players. And I think that's one thing we were able to do, because when you build relationships, those are lifelong things that you reap those benefits. And, yeah, it's exciting to win the championships and all that, but it's the relationships that I've built with our former players that I'm the most proud of. I stay in contact with most of my players, or I try to. Whether it's just through a text or a phone call occasionally. And, every once in a while they'll stoop down low and give me a call. Poor Coach Boyer, they'll give me a call every once in a while. But I'm very proud of the program that we built, and just the culture that we built of having not just a high standard for baseball, but, this group of athletes, when Tanner came through his group of his 4 years, they also won 2 state championships academically, and were very, very close the third year. So they're a very well-rounded group, very supportive families. Whatever we asked of the families, they were always there to support us in a positive manner, whether it was from financial support or helping us build the fence or the new press box that we got, whatever it may be. We always had that support there, and we had a lot of yes people that were there to support us.
I love that positive atmosphere. And guys, congratulations. I didn't even realize you're a 5-time state champions on the baseball diamond. I don't know of anybody else who can say that. And if, well, quick question. Todd, I'll start with you. I'll go Tanner, then Kade. What was harder, the first one or the third one?
For me, absolutely the first one. To have never won one and to finally get there and give ourselves the opportunity to win. And, no one better than to beat Carl Albert in the finals. For 30-plus years, they were one of our bigger rivals. And so to win our first state title against Carl Albert was super special. And Wayne Dozier had done an outstanding job there for over, 25, 30 years as well. And so to win that one against them for the first one was definitely the hardest.
What about you, Tanner? What do you think?
I agree. The first one's always the hardest. After that, you have the confidence, and you believe that nobody should beat you. But the first one's definitely the hardest.
Well, Kade, is it a fair question for you? I mean, you were held out that first year. All you could do is make these guys better during practice. You had to watch the entire thing happen for the first one. Was that harder, or was your getting through that third one in the season of expectation harder?
I think that the first one's probably the hardest. It was the hardest to, just as a spectator, I think that it was the hardest. I think that everyone's confidence going into every single game after that one, everyone was like, if we all play to the best of our abilities, then we're going to win. So, but it was, the doubt was always lingering that, when you haven't done it yet. But after we did it, it was pretty smooth sailing, I'd say.
Well, Kade, in those next 2 years, year number 2 championship, year number 3 championship, is there a moment that stood out for you personally in which something happened and you knew you were going to remember that forever? And I would like to stay away from the euphoria of winning the state tournament. It's one of those little things, whether it was in practice, in the classroom, in a nominal game or a non-playoff game, something like that. Was there a moment in time that it was just a breath of fresh air and you knew this is really a great time for me to be alive?
So the state was a moment I really didn't feel any going through.
Whoops, we lost Kade.
There goes Kade.
Yes, so a spam risk just called me. That's ridiculous. I was going to say that.
Go ahead.
Crazy. Anyways, I was going to say it was more of not necessarily a specific moment, but a specific situation. I remember that, Tanner and Eli had all these innings that they were throwing, and the guys that, the guys that were more support guys, they really stepped up. And whenever I saw that everyone was capable of so much, I think that that's when I was like, wow, I'm on a complete team, and I think that we can do anything as a unit. And I think that was really one thing that really stood out to me in those years.
That's awesome. What about you, Tanner? Was there a moment in your 3-year run that really stood out to you?
It's kind of like what Kade said. It's the guys stepping up, no matter who it was. I mean, one moment that sticks out to me specifically, because it involves me, but senior year, the last year, we were in the McAllister tournaments pretty early on in the year. Me and Eli had been battling some arm issues, and there's a game against Pryor at Eastern. I went out to start the game, and it's the only time in my life I just couldn't do it. I was done for. And Carson Payne, freshman at the time, came in and just lights out for 7 innings against Pryor, who was supposed to be one of the teams that could get it done that year. And this freshman dude came in. I mean, first inning, I came off. He came in, slammed the door, and comes off the mound screaming, like a blackout moment, kind of thing. I think that just set the tone for the rest of that year. But I think that also is oh, encapsulates, is that a word?
Yeah.
Encapsulates
College graduate.
hey, yeah. I'm a finance guy, not great with words. But I think that kind of encapsulates every year as a whole. I mean, it's always been the team, not just a couple guys doing this. It's the support system. Even if like you're not playing all the time, that energy that the bench brings and like wanting each other to exceed is more important than anything. But also just having the faith in everybody for the next guy to be able to step up and do that. Like it makes everything so much better, makes you feel inconquerable almost. That's what really stood out to me is that moment. And I was like, oh yeah, there's no shot anybody's going to beat us.
And I think I was at that game and we were televising that game, tape delay. And I remember that moment. I remember the freshmen coming in and having to turn and ask the parents, okay, who is this? And then slamming the door is right. You guys came away with another victory down there, and that was a great moment for everybody. We were so happy that we had traveled there. And Todd, I mean, you have to be feeling good right now because these guys both are talking about what you wanted to accomplish in it being an entire family, an entire team mode that was going to win or lose together.
Oh, sure. That last year, going 40-0. If you would have said that before the season, I first of all, I would have told you were crazy. And then to go through the season with Tanner and Eli as our top two pitchers coming into that season. And I believe between the two of them for the whole season, they may have started 6 times maybe between the two guys. And so to go through your season and go undefeated, go 40-0, win a state championship, and not have your 2 best guys on the mound every day or, every 3rd, 4th, 5th day, just a testament to this group. We had guys up on the mound who weren't really pitchers. They were position players that said, look, I'll get it done. A perfect example, A.J. Barron. AJ, I could have ran him out there against the New York Yankees, and AJ would have thought he was going to win. And that's just the type of players we had. In the state finals, Jake Taylor, who was our everyday starting catcher, went out and gave us 7 complete innings in a state championship game. We just had a lot of guys that picked up the slack from not having these 2 guys on the mound, every 3rd or 4th day or 5th day. And that just tells you a little bit about this ball club. It was a complete team. It wasn't just 1 or 2 individuals. We had 11, 12 guys that contributed on a daily basis. And probably the biggest memory for me, Daniel, in this 3-year run was the very first state championship that we won in the semifinals against Tulsa Kelly. Very few people will remember this play, but in the 7th inning, we're tied with Tulsa Kelly, and they have a runner at second and 2 outs, and we have a ground ball to short. We make a poor throw to first, and I was watching the runner at second the whole time, and he kind of just jogged to third and was watching what happened, and we make a bad throw. And Cole Payne's our first baseman, and Cole's Payne, instead of ducking his head and going, oh, the ball game's over, Cole Payne sprints to the dugout, picks up the ball. The runner by this time decides he's going to try to score. Cole throws a perfect throw to the plate, and he's out, and then we win in the extra innings to get us to our state finals and for us to win our first state championship. But that kind of just exemplified our players. Their player lollygagged around a little bit and didn't go as hard as he could. And Cole Payne did just the opposite in a situation where he could have ducked his head and said, man, we just lost our opportunity to go compete for a state championship. Instead, he sprints, looks for an out, and gets the out, and we win the ball game, and then we go on and win a state championship.
Man, I have chills. I remember that. And not for you guys, because you know this, but this is the type of thing for our entire community to realize. These guys weren't only state champions at 40-0, they were national champions at 40-0. The only team in our history that I'm aware of ever to get national attention like that, and the banner hangs in the gym to prove it. And 2 of their best pitchers not pitching. Hey, if you guys would have pitched, Tanner, maybe we would have had some world champions.
I don't know about that one.
I know. That's another characteristic of you guys. And, I want you to know that we've reached out to a lot of this team, and I look forward to talking to some more. But you two are a wonderful example of what this community is all about and what we can aspire to be. And I want to thank you and your families for the great 3-4 years of being able to spend some time with you and watch you accomplish what you were able to accomplish on the diamond. Kade and Tanner, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to close it out with Coach for just a second. We're going to, probably say some things about you guys, and but you'll have to tune in to watch that. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
So
Have a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See ya.
see you guys.
Hey Todd. First of all, 2 decades before they come, you've been the coach of Shawnee High School baseball. What made these guys just a little bit more special than the rest? Because I know you've had some special players in your 30-year campaign.
We have. I was very fortunate to be a part of a program for, 26 years as an assistant and head coach. And we had some very talented players come through. And, baseball's a funny game. The best team doesn't always win. And obviously, we went through a run there from 98 to 2007 while Coach Schaefer was the head coach. And I think of those 11 years, we made the state tournament 9 of the 11 years. And there were 4 or 5 times we felt like we had the best ball club, but things just didn't fall our way, whether it was an injury late in the season or at the state tournament or just a bad hop here or there, or we make an error in the wrong time, or we don't make any errors. I mean, one year we went 0-2 and got beat 3-2, 3-2 and didn't make an error. And we played well and just, unfortunately we didn't win. But when this group came through, when they came in as freshmen, you could tell there was something special about this group. Not only were they talented in the ball field, they had a strong desire to be successful and to do whatever you ask them. And, we tried to challenge them mentally and physically every day in practice, from working out at 5:45 in the morning, going through our weight program or going through the running program, to going through our off-season program that we did. We tried to challenge those guys so that when they got on the field, that those situations were easy. And when they were in a tough situation, whether it was, pitching with the bases loaded and no outs, hey, I've been through tougher stuff than this in practice. This is easier. Whether it was hitting with the bases loaded and 2 outs, down in the 7th inning, hey, this is easy, And so we tried to challenge them, but we knew they were a special group. They held each other accountable. And that's not always the case, with young men from 14 to 18, 19 years old that hold each other accountable. And sometimes, your better players think that they're going to get by with some things. And that just wasn't the case with this group. We had a lot of talented players. We had some very good role players, but they all held each other accountable from the top to the bottom. And I think that's what made this group so special.
Well, and it takes a special coach to lead leaders like that. And I know in your way, you held the leaders responsible, and it paid off. The only coach in Shawnee high school history that I'm aware of to ever be a national champion. Coach Todd Boyer, thank you for taking this time with us, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon, my friend.
Daniel, we appreciate you having us on and talking about our kids and talking about our program in such a positive manner. And we appreciate all the things that you do for our athletic programs in general. So thank you.
Well, and I need to thank Dana now off camera for getting you set up, Pops.
Well, I always need help when it comes to technology.
All right, my man. I'll see you later.
Okay. Thanks, Daniel.
Man, just think about it. 3 state championships, 2 academic championships as a team. That's 5 state championships that really matter. Guys, I mean, those are some impressive kids.
We were actually there for the first one.
Yep.
When they all dogpiled each other. It was like, I don't know, the thing was huge. Everybody was coming from everywhere to jump on the pile.
That is so true, and I loved them. I mean, a lot of the memories that they talked about, we were a part of. That's what 20 years will do. Hey, Gavin, you've been with us just for a year, though.
Yes.
Over your last year. Have you experienced some of those highs and lows, when you watch them on the field?
I have. North Ark Creek softball has been a big one that I like watching. They're a great team, a lot of energy, and they've been kicking some butt. So I've enjoyed watching that.
You also had the North Rock Creek boys basketball that you went to for.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Evan's going to be mad at me. But yeah, that was great when we went out. Where did we go? Noble. Yeah, went out to Noble and filmed some highlights for them. When they actually figured out that they were going to the big house, they just all ran onto the field or ran onto the court.
Yeah.
It was great.
I'm telling you, there's no better entertainment value than high school sports. And what a privilege it is for us to be able to bring the area high school sports to you and to be able to enjoy ourselves. Can't say enough about Coach Todd Boyer and the efforts. I had said a decade, maybe two. It was actually, he started in 91, and these guys got to the high school at about 2014 because they won it 15, 16, and 17 when that class graduated. What a run for Coach Boyer. We want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. We're going to continue with more for you next week. We've got some really great things, and seasons are about to kick off. Early August, we get to watch softball and volleyball as we get ready for the upcoming football season. We hope that you have a great day, and remember, Shawnee, together we build community, one season at a time. Like, share, whatever.
Comment, subscribe.
Comment,
You did it.
subscribe.
Like the YouTube channel.
Good job.
Hit bell, I think.
It's one of those channels. Yeah.